Jack Frost nipping at your nose.
Are we going to have Nat King Cole tomorrow and really big trivia on the...
Being sung by
Maybe we're going to have some Christmas music tomorrow, too. I hope so. Really big trivia tomorrow on the show, open line as well. We close out this morning our final interview segment of the show by talking about some of the aftermath that is impacting Michigan from what happened last week in Newtown, Connecticut, and the really enhanced concerns that we have seen for school safety throughout our state here in Michigan. There are a number of districts that have closed down early after a flurry of activity on Facebook and Twitter. There have been so many incidents. The other day, 2 Oakland County school districts had to send letters home to parents when a fellow who turns out to have been a camera operator for WDIV went and tried to open school doors. This is the first day back at school, and this Channel 4 fellow goes and tries to open these school doors to get in, and found them all locked. The one principal goes out to confront him in the parking lot, and he says, "Congratulations, your school is safe." It's like, we don't need you to tell us that. That's not your job. And eventually Channel 4 apologized for that. But this guy's lucky he didn't get shot by a cop, because police were called, and the schools were locked down when he tried to get in. So, I mean, I can't even imagine doing that. And they said, well, he heard that the school doors were unlocked at this one place. Well, then call the school. Alert them to that. Don't take it in your own hands. Anyway, we've got schools closed because of various security concerns, including in Lapeer Community Schools, where Superintendent Matt Wandry decided to shut things down a couple of days early before the Christmas break. And Superintendent Wandry is on the other end of our line. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Frank. Glad to be here.
Nice of you to join us. What happened in Lapeer, and what have you heard from your colleagues? What exactly were you concerned about?
Well, primarily, as you indicated in your opening, it was the sheer volume of calls we were receiving from nervous and anxious parents, and primarily just the second and third hand rumor mill. And in the age of Facebook and Twitter and text messaging, really amplifies the speed at which that information can be shared with the community. Oftentimes before school officials are even aware of the newest rumor. So we felt that given the nature of that, it might be a good idea for county area superintendents just to meet and discuss a plan of action where all of us would be kind of unified. Simultaneous meetings happen between Genesee County superintendents. Genesee County has 21 school districts, and Lapeer County, a little bit smaller, has 5. And we came to a consensus and then found out later that Sanilac County had agreed that given the sheer volume of the calls, the nature of the threats, that the productivity level of our schools had been compromised.
What was the nature of the threats? What can you tell us?
Pretty generic in terms of really lacked the specificity that we often look for when investigating these types of issues, Frank. Typically you're looking for names of students that are indicated, a time of day, a specific weapon of choice, or mechanism for causing harm. And so the generic nature of these threats was, I heard about a gunfight at fill-in-the-blank high school, or I heard from a friend of a friend that students are planning on going out with a bang on Friday. And so as parents begin to hear that type of language, especially in connection with what just recently happened in Connecticut, their response, quite honestly, which is a natural reaction, is to come to the school, take their students out, call our offices. What's problematic with this is that we can't be dismissive of any threat, no matter how generic. And so school personnel in connection with local law enforcement, we're charged with investigating every single one of these rumors. Get to the point, however, when that's really all you're doing. And so you're running around trying to find out the genesis of these calls and threats. So literally police officers visiting homes, principals and counselors and assistant principals calling students down to the office, talking with parents. Then they see police vehicles in front of our buildings. They call us, what's going on? We're hearing this, we're hearing that. And for the most part, we can manage those types of things. It gets to a certain level, though, when the level of hysteria becomes so obstructive to the learning process. We've got to make a decision about what are kids getting out of showing up to school each day.
Now, because a lot of this was happening on Facebook and Twitter, you can trace who was actually saying these things, right?
Sure, that's a big part of it, and that's part of the police investigation process. As a matter of fact, we had a county-wide meeting of law enforcement chiefs and superintendents as recently as Tuesday of this week, just talking about not only the short-term reaction to what happened in Newtown, but also, in improving in our existing strategies. And a lot of it has to do with, internet issues as it relates to finding out the source of information and then confronting people that continue to perpetuate the rumor. It just, as I mentioned earlier, it's just the speed at which it gets magnified is really what creates a problem. We're in a new age. When I was a former high school principal, as recently as 10 years ago, our biggest concern was a threat being written on the bathroom wall or a note being passed between students. Much more easy to manage, much more easy to investigate. Now we may be getting a call from a parent that says, my son or daughter texted me from their classroom and said this is going on. So we even as school officials sometimes aren't getting information as fast as it's happening.
Then you add in this hoax about the end of the world coming into an end tomorrow, and you really got something going.
Certainly didn't help it, and for lack of a better phrase, in our county meeting, we characterized it as the perfect storm. Given the normal anxiety of the holiday season approaching, the Connecticut issue, this end of the world business, and we certainly, we're reluctant to do this because what kind of message does this send to those students who are engaging in this behavior? It sends a message that we have a certain amount of power as it relates to crippling our ability to perform our primary function of educating kids, and that's not the message we want to send. But at the same time, we're parents before we're educators. And as a dad of 3 myself, I'm certainly going to err on the side of student safety until we're in a better position to address this type of behavior.
The other thing that I hope parents take from all of this is as bad as the tragedy was in Newtown and at Columbine and at other schools where we have seen attacks happen before, on the whole, schools are a safe haven for kids. It's a very, very small percentage of schools where this kind of violence is carried out by madmen, and I think parents should be somewhat comforted by the fact that people like you, superintendents and teachers throughout the country, take their kids' safety so seriously and put it above all else.
Well, I certainly appreciate and will echo that sentiment. You look at the teachers and administrators in Newtown literally sacrificing their lives for their students out of love, and a sense of professional obligation. And hearing some of the stories, Frank, quite honestly, that are coming from that story are so, it's such a tragedy, but so heartwarming to know that you've got people working with your kids every day, and in Michigan it's no different, that literally feel an obligation and a moral ethic to protect their students with their lives. And I'm proud to be an educator.
Yeah, I can understand that. Thanks so much for being with us today, and we wish you a very happy Christmas, a Merry Christmas, a Happy New Year. Matt Wandry, Superintendent out in Lapeer Community Schools. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Frank. Merry Christmas to you as well.